This hour will be spent sober. I need to make my affirmation. I'll affirm here live on camera. I'm not going to do any hard drugs today. I'm not going to do any drinking today. I want to stay sober. That stuff's bad for my body, bad for my mind, bad for my social relationships. Just bad. So I'm not going to get any today. I'm not going to do any.
Yeah. Did you mention the bad for your budget?
That's my budget too. I don't have money to get any, so yeah.
You wouldn't believe how many groceries I have now.
Yeah, I spend on groceries, try to get it out of my hands.
All in all, I'm eating and supplying my body with really healthy things, except for these. And coffee. Oh man,
That's good coffee. You need your coffee?
yeah, I need to top it off too. You wanna do all that for me?
I got you.
Appreciate you.
Podcast, freezy pop. I got you.
You want a freezy pop? I got a whole bag, baby.
Everything I need. Coffee, cigarettes, freezy pops.
Dude, I tell you what, man. Whenever that bag of freezy pops was getting light, started feeling the urge. It's like I gotta get more freezy pops. Started to get too low, man. Stressing. There you go. Thank you.
Let me see that one. Oh, freezy pops. Are you addicted to Sprite?
No.
Yeah, that's not addicted. That's love.
That's love, baby. I think, I do. That's the only thing in my life that I have absolute moderation over. Moderation control. I just have it with my lunch and with my dinner, one each time, and that's a healthy habit right there. 2 Sprites a day. I think it's healthy. I mean, that ends up being 70 grams of sugar.
Vitamins.
It's green. It's healthy. Put it in right after my green juice.
What if they start putting more vitamins in Red Bull and they try to pitch Red Bull as like a vitamin energy drink?
Yeah, why don't they do that with Sprite? Just put vitamins in it.
So you feel better.
Yeah, I mean, I get that Sprite Zero, take that aspartame cancer stuff, and get me some vitamins. I'll be all right. Aspartame ain't gonna take me down. I'm gonna be driving too fast in my car.
That's another dangerous addiction.
Yeah.
Driving too fast.
I need to get that adrenaline out on my bicycle.
Yeah, it's true. Your adrenaline rush from that.
Mm-hmm.
Getting on College Avenue in Fayetteville, Arkansas. It was pretty exciting yesterday on the bicycle. Yeah, that was an adrenaline rush. I'm like, damn, I'm doing something I'm kind of scared of. Never done before. Get on a motor bicycle. We're talking about an e-bike.
That's the only way to go.
An e-bike that has an electric motor on the wheel and propels you with your thumb press. On this bike, you actually do not pedal.
Missing a pedal.
Pretty badass. It was exhilarating. So
I think I'm gonna JB weld that pedal back on.
I am kind of addicted to e-bike riding.
Dude, I can't wait till you get one, and then we can blast down some things together. I promise I'm gonna make it a trick for you to follow me. Take them quick routes, jumping stuff. Like,
Yeah.
This guy is crazy.
I will. That'll be good learning too.
And I won't do anything too nuts. Every now and again, when you're doing it, you fly off of something. It's like a 2-foot drop. You know what I mean? Because you didn't plan it, or you didn't know what was over there necessarily.
Right.
But if you're going fast enough, that's no problem. Just if you hit a 2-foot drop going slow.
The one I get is gonna have full suspension. I'm gonna pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna make a world of difference on my end. Like driving around Fayetteville.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna invest in a new battery.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I saw on their website if you pay $250, you can get a battery upgrade.
Oh. Yeah. I'll probably just buy the biggest one they got for this bike.
25 amp hour.
Yeah, I think mine's 16, 48 volt.
Yeah, that'd be a huge upgrade.
Whatever that electrical magic space magic means.
So on their website, the Summit, just to talk bicycles, the Summit, I think that without a battery upgrade, the top end is the 20 amp hour. And then on the Ultra FS, the top end battery is the 25 amp hour. But the Summit is priced higher, which makes me think it could be a higher quality bicycle overall.
Yeah, overall it will be. Like your computer is going to be a bunch better than mine. Your buttons are going to be, you're going to have more options computer wise, what it can keep track of.
Okay. Okay.
Who knows what it could have on it now. I mean, I saw some others whenever I was getting mine several years ago that yeah, I was looking at the cheaper ones. I was like, no, these computers kind of look a little bit less. So I'm sure a nice fancy new one would be pretty awesome. I mean, that one's not lacking.
No. All right, 1 minute till.
Yeah.
Just me and you and our viewer. Hello, viewer.
We got a viewer?
Oh, Scott joined in.
Hey. All right. Hey, Scott.
Hey, buddy. Oh, the audio's coming out of the headphones.
Coming out of it. Are they on?
Yeah, turn them off and see if it.
They're on. Yeah, they're on.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Hey,
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Yep.
All right.
Hey, buddy.
We're still.
How you doing, John?
I'm okay. I'm staying sober today. I just made my pledge on our video call, and I'm gonna stay off the bad shit today. Have a good day. Take it one day at a time. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Glad to hear.
All right.
We've got our topic. We've got a little bit of material prep. We want it to be an open conversation. So you can join in at any time. Add your tips on anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get rid of this.
Yeah, we'll put our cigarettes out.
All right. So.
Yeah, I'm turning my video off because I'm about to light up, so...
Okay, well.
That's all right. Yeah,
Well,
we know you're here.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm James. This is my friend John. Welcome to Help with Addiction. Today's topic is routine, building a routine, maintaining routine, adding to it, working on structuring your life so that all things become more manageable. Yeah, I've found that as I become more sober, I'm engaging in more activities with friends. I'm making my appointments. I'm buying appropriate things from the store, and a routine or a daily planner help to control and allow you to follow through with all of those activities without making it a huge stressor. Also, whenever you have a routine, you can break up parts of your day into little pieces that are more manageable. You don't have to take out a whole day at once. You just have to take out your morning session, your afternoon session, your evening. And then before you know it, you've got another day in the bag of sobriety. And that's what we're going to work on today. We've got a lot of notes. We look forward to anyone's input as we go along in this. Anything to add before I grab my notebook?
The routine is something that the keyword here is building. It's built from one day at a time. Your routine 100 days from now will probably not be your routine for today. If you feel your life is lacking in any area, you might write down that area and where you want to apply your energy and consider what can I add to a daily routine that will help get me, like you mentioned, buying the right groceries, having groceries in your pantry.
Having a shopping list, right?
If you ever go to your cabinets or your pantry and you have no food, then that might be something you want to add to your routine, put some energy into either earning money, and acquiring food at the store, or having it delivered. Just an example. So if that's a problem today, then 100 days from now, make it your goal for that, to have built a routine that revolves around making sure that problem is never a problem, whether that's food, not showering regularly, not making it to work on time, whatever you got to change.
Yeah, not taking your medicines in accordance with the schedule. So as part of having a routine, you need to have something to help you manage it. So a daily planner is a great way to do that. And so this is a dot journal. I don't know if you can see the little dots there, but here's an example of my schedule and routine, my daily planner. And you can make it free form. It can change however you want to for the next week. I mean, this was one a couple weeks ago. You know, you can add in stuff like quotes and
Hey, I will interject here a little bit, guys.
Mm-hmm.
When talking about routines, and what really hit me was you're talking about going out and buying the appropriate groceries.
Yes.
One of the things that I had to do a few years ago, I got an app that I could download that allowed me to put stuff on the grocery list.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
And stick with it, because you know, you've got your cell phone in your pocket all the time.
Pretty much,
I don't have to worry about a piece of paper that I might forget on the kitchen counter.
Yeah.
And I can add things to the list as it runs out. It has definitely helped me not buy as much junk.
Yeah.
And only those things that, okay, I've only got a quarter gallon of milk left. Okay, so I need to buy milk. That's I usually add to it all week long as I'm running down low on stuff. And then I do my best to stick with it while I'm at the store. And it does help reduce my expenses and kind of keeps me on track.
Yeah. And so that's a part of your regular routine, to analyze your refrigerator and check and see, do I need anything?
Generally, as I start to run low on stuff, I try to add it right then.
Yeah. I could see using an app being a little bit easier, because sometimes I bring this to the grocery store and then I check my stuff off. But do you know the name of the app that you use?
It is called Our Groceries.
Our Groceries, like our
OUR space groceries.
Okay.
It's a free app, and if you have multiple people in your household, you can share it, and so people can put things on the list.
Yeah.
And it shows up on everybody's list. So whoever does it goes and does the grocery shopping. It's also pretty much real time. There have been times with when I was living with my now ex, that I would be standing in line to check out, and I would double check the list, and something new had appeared on it.
Oh.
So that part's never fun.
Right.
But if you've got a household that you're shopping for, it can help.
Okay, and so if say somebody goes to the store and they buy something, they can just kind of check that off on their on the app.
Yep, I wish I could share the screen, but since it's on my phone, I can't. But when you add stuff to it, as you're going through the list, you just tap on it with your finger, and it marks it off.
All right. Yeah, I think
and it keeps a list of the things that you put on the list, so that you can go back through and see if there's something that you used to order that you want to put on the next list.
That sounds great for a household.
It's pretty cool. It's free. There's no ads.
And what was it called again?
It's called Our Groceries.
Our Groceries?
Groceries.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that for myself. It'll be easier bringing that into the store than my journal.
That's the thing. That's the thing that I found is I would always make a paper list, and then half the time I'd get to the store and went, well, that's sitting at home.
Wonderful.
And I'd have to try to do it from memory. But I try to eat really, really healthy. If John hasn't told you, I'm a pescatarian.
Okay. Yep.
So I kind of have to watch my protein intake. And so I have to be really careful about what I buy.
Okay. Yeah. So as far as routines go, John, do you have Scott, do you have a regular routine in the morning?
Okay. Well, the first thing, I have an alarm that's set to get me up every morning.
Yeah.
I usually get up before my alarm, just because that's the way my body's programmed. But I definitely hop out of bed whenever it happens. And the very first thing in the morning is to get my cup of coffee going.
Yeah.
And I've got a Keurig, so it takes a little while to warm up, so that gives me time to have my first cigarette for the day. And then I have my cup of coffee, and then I know I have to be in the shower by a certain hour, otherwise I'm going to have trouble getting started with my day.
Okay, that's something that kind of perks you up, wakes you up.
It does. I definitely have to have a hot shower in the morning to get me moving, and I know that. Otherwise, I'm going to waste the entire day.
I've heard of the cold showers. That's like the new fad nowadays. Have you ever tried those? I don't do it.
Unless I've been out, like working in the yard or something.
Oh right, yeah, got to.
Then yeah, no, I know I'm a hot shower person. But then again, I live in the Pacific Northwest. It's usually pretty cool up here most of the year.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a different story from you guys being there in Arkansas.
I'm a hot shower kind of guy myself. I don't think I'll ever jump over to that. But they're talking about all the benefits of it all over YouTube nowadays. So temptation's there, but I don't want to overwhelm myself with something that I hate.
I have done. I went on vacation. I have done the soaking in the hot tub and then jumping into a cold pool.
Yep.
Thing that is, I will say there is something to be said for the cold water thing. It definitely does work, but for getting me up and moving in the morning, no.
So then,
but that's just me.
After you shower, do you carry on with breakfast?
So I've got a pretty standard breakfast routine as well. Just because of what I like to do with my diet, there's only a few things that I'm going to eat in the morning. So I usually either have overnight oatmeal prepared with fruit in it,
yeah,
or I will do an egg on toast.
Nice. And
I need carbs and protein in the morning.
Right. And you do that regularly, so you're naturally hungry for those things as it becomes that part of the day, right? Like it's not an effort. You have an appetite. Right.
I generally actually don't have an appetite in the morning, and that's why I had to start a routine.
Yeah.
Is because you do need to eat in the morning to keep yourself energized during the day, and I'm the type that would skip it or have a unhealthy granola bar covered in chocolate just to get me through if I do get hungry.
Yeah.
And I had to consciously plan. It's like, nope. You need to eat better, and this is what we're going to do. So I do have a routine around that.
Yeah. Part of my routine in the morning, I start off with that cigarette and coffee, and I go lay out on the sidewalk in the apartment complex and let my dog roam around. And I come in, I have my juice. I'll blend a bunch of fruits and vegetables together and have that. Then I'll move on to my medication. And that takes up a good part of my morning by the time I have all that done. What about you, John?
And see, my medication routine is right before bed.
Oh yeah. I got to do that.
I've got I have a bedtime routine as well. I have to 30 minutes before I'm going to sleep, 30 minutes to an hour. I pour myself about 16 ounces of milk because milk helps me sleep.
Uh-huh.
I know not everybody can drink milk, and I take my medications and crawl into bed with a book.
Yeah, that's a great plan. For my evening routine, my bedtime routine, as soon as it's about 9 or 10 o'clock, run a scalding hot bath, put in some mint soap, and get some Epsom salt in there, and then I eat freeze pops while I'm in there to keep myself cool, so I can get all the therapy that I can take before I start sweating.
I call him Captain Freeze Pop.
And then after that,
I'm dying laughing because not during this time of the year because it's too warm up here, but 9 months out of the year it's pretty chilly.
Yeah.
And so my nighttime routine during that part of the year is an Epsom salt and bubble bath.
Yep. Big time.
With a cold drink and a book, and I just lay in the tub until the water's not hot anymore.
Right, pretty much same here. And instead of the actual book, I do the audio book, and then as soon as I finish my bath, get my clothes back on, let the dog out, head to bed, put on the same audio book, and just I fall asleep really quick. It normally doesn't take me much more than a chapter to fall asleep. My body automatically knows that it's happening because I do it regularly.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely the key. Is when it's a regular thing, your body gets used to it. I don't listen to audiobooks. I'm a visual person.
Yeah.
I like to read. And so, sometimes I'll get really into whatever it is I'm reading, and it'll keep me up a little bit later. But as I said, one of the things that I take is Benadryl, because I'm allergic to cats, and as you guys saw recently, I have a cat. So the Benadryl is necessary. And Benadryl typically puts me out 30 to 45 minutes after I've taken it. So it's a good timing thing to make sure I go to bed on time, for me.
Yeah, that's good. Don, you have anything about your routine that you do?
My routine, I'll admit, my routine needs work, especially the morning part. I struggle sometimes to get my tasks done, brushing my teeth, taking my medicine on time. My routine needs work, but I recognize that I'm not going to do it quickly. I'm not going to go out to add 5 things to my routine today.
Nice and slow steps.
Yeah. I'm gonna add some things to my morning routine and use my phone to set alarms to remind me to take my medicine on time, which I think I did this morning.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. One check
So,
in the box.
So John, I will say, setting the reminders up on your phone is great. I think there are some reminder apps out there that I have heard of. I don't use one. And adjusting your routine it's an ongoing thing. So
Yes.
when my ex-husband and I separated, one of the really hard things for me to change my routine on was I was so used to cooking dinner every night.
Oh, yeah.
And you do have to eat dinner every night, but I was so used to making a certain amount of food that then I would end up with tons of leftovers that I couldn't finish before I got tired of them or before they went bad.
Yeah.
And so then I got out of it. Rather than adjusting my routine and learning how to only cook for one person, I just stopped cooking at all, which meant I stopped eating dinner. I was just, cheese and crackers instead,
Right.
which is also really unhealthy. So you have to kind of be aware of when that routine needs to change and how it needs to change.
Yeah.
And adjust to it slowly.
Right, and have something to remind you. Like say again the daily planner. If you put a note in there, like begin bedtime routine at 9, and you kind of start to shoot for that, then eventually you won't have to write it on your journal. It'll just be happening naturally.
Yeah, like I might use phone reminders to help me out remembering to take my meds. But after is it 30 days to make it happen, or is it 20?
Yeah.
21.
21? Okay.
21 days to make a habit is what they say, but that's a rule of thumb that it's not the same for everybody.
If over the next 21 days I use a phone reminder to help remind me to make coffee and then take my medicine immediately, eventually I'm not going to need that reminder, and I'm going to delete it because it's going to become so well ingrained as a part of my daily life that I'm taking my meds on time, same time every day.
Well, the idea behind having a routine is to ingrain those habits so that they become automatic for you.
Yeah,
exactly. So that's what I'll be doing. My morning routine is pretty loose, and I wake up at different times. My night routine is more regular, and then throughout the day I have just a few days out of the week do I have scheduled events. Fridays, I meet with my substance abuse counselor on a one-on-one. That's something that's a part of my weekly routine that I think I kind of allow other events to gravitate around, like my Saturday 2 p.m. meeting. I'll allow other events to gravitate around that and use those as kind of days that I'm more busy, and then have off days that are less structured. So my routine needs work.
Yeah, as do we all. Speaking of progress and routine, sometimes you'll find yourself without anything to do. You'll be sitting there, maybe anxious, trying to figure out what to do with yourself or with the rest of the day. That's a good time to start to find a hobby that you're interested in that you've been neglecting. I've been fitting in some time to play some music, work on the guitar, making sure that I do that a little bit a day occupies one of those spaces where I might just be sitting there browsing the YouTube. I've also added they have a chess club on Sundays here, so I'm going to start doing that, and eventually that's going to become part of my routine. As long as you find things that are healthy and beneficial to your personal growth, it's wonderful to implement them.
So this is going to sound a little counterintuitive, guys.
Yeah.
But you should always, not sure exactly how to say this, you should always structure some free playtime in your routine. Because if you overstructure things, you're going to start to feel constricted by it. And that's going to be counterproductive in the long run. To your point there, having a hobby, that means, hey, if I've got this, 2-hour block of time that I know I'm going to be able to do anything I want to, let's have a list of things that I can choose from to figure out what interests me at that particular moment.
Yeah. That's a wonderful insight. I mean, I have a lot of spare time because I'm retired. So, after I finish my breakfast routine, I do kind of have that period until lunch where it's just free time. And yeah, like you said, finding certain things to occupy those blocks. So if your list of hobbies or activities are malleable, you can kind of have some wiggle room. Yeah.
Well, I really like that, Scott. You just mentioned that it brings us to a reminder that our life needs balance and needs good balance between work and play, especially, or else you get burned out at your job or at your writing task or whatever you're trying to do. Yeah. You're right, you will get burned out.
Another thing that I think people forget about is that it's okay to go to bed or schedule yourself to go to bed earlier as part of your routine. I mean, when we're in the throes of our addiction, lasting till the end of the party was more of our bedtime. But you can cap off your day, go to sleep early, wake up early, have a nice meditation period. It's important to try to plan ahead and structure all of these things so that they do happen, and that you do end up being well rested, that you're well fed, that you have taken your medications, that you've included your social time, your time with your friends, your AA meetings, all your doctor's appointments. Maintaining that.
And there is nothing wrong with laying on the couch and just vegetating.
Yeah.
Every once in a while that you need that too.
Just rest, yes.
Whenever I find a show that I want to watch, that takes up some of my free time as well.
Well, and I will also say naps are important.
Yeah, I'm all about napping.
Not too long, but I had something that interrupted my day yesterday. I've got a great friend who's a good DJ, and he was doing something totally threw my schedule off. And, after listening to that for 2 hours, I was like, I'm going to lay down with the book for a little bit. It's not on my schedule. And so I napped at a completely weird hour, woke up 2 hours later, was like, well, I'm not going to go to bed on time tonight.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So, I sort of I had to rearrange that routine. And I'll be honest, I woke up at 5:45 this morning, and felt absolutely great.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful? My lunchtime routine is I mean, I love my breakfast, lunch, and dinner routines, but my lunchtime routine is one of my favorites. I make my food, I sit down and watch a show while I eat, and then I take a 2-hour nap after that every day. And I think that a lot of people kind of shun having a long nap like that, but as long as you have that regularity, I go to sleep at the same time every night. I take my naps at the same time just about every day. It's it's manageable no matter if you're a 15-minute napper or a 2-hour napper. As long as it's regular, then it's a good thing.
I don't think any of us appreciated from when we were kids how beneficial a nap is.
Yeah.
I'm like, can work just put a pad down and let us all, turn the lights off for, 30, 45 minutes.
That takes me right back to kindergarten back in 1990.
Yep.
On the pads.
Those fold-out mats.
Yeah.
Okay, John, so you were in kindergarten in 1990. I was in kindergarten in 1981.
Oh, yeah. I was born in 81, so my kindergarten was about 5 years after that.
Oh, see, I was born in 75, guys.
Yeah. That's good. We got a range here. When I first met John, I thought he was like 25 years old. I was like, you got all the time in the world, man. Turns out he's an old fart too.
And I'm older than both of you.
Yeah, having a schedule is important to us, so we can actually get shit done before our days are done.
Before we go to bed at 7.
Before we go to bed at 7, he said. Yeah.
Well, that's the fortunate thing for me. I was, born in the Central Time Zone. John, you're about to sit on the dog.
No, I got my hands on her. I'm pushing her. Moving out here to the Pacific Northwest, it's 2-hour time difference, and that has really helped with my routine because I've never adjusted my body clock from Central Time. So that means I get up earlier and want to go to bed earlier.
Yeah.
Which works for up here.
Yeah. And as long as there's no party happening, I find it easier to maintain that sleep routine, and being sober, I'm not participating in any of that kind of stuff. It's weird how much that used to take hold, hanging out with people having beers or whatever. You didn't care about the clock. It was just sort of do it as long as you're having fun, and then who cares about tomorrow type deal.
And do you think it's true that whether it's work, play, or sleep, or rest, if you're doing it in routine, do you get the best satisfaction out of that work, play, or rest? Do you get the best quality rest?
That's a good point.
When you're resting in your regular routine?
I think absolutely. Your work periods are more fruitful. Your leisure periods are more relaxing and enjoyable. Your sleep is better. I think your energy level throughout the day is better as you start to establish one of these for yourselves. Your efficiency overall. Go ahead, Scott.
I said I would agree with that. I think it's important, just from my personal experience, that you do try to keep to that routine, because sometimes you let, you mentioned work, sometimes you let that take over your life. And so then you let your routine go, which means you don't end up getting the leisure time that you need to be a healthier person for the next day.
Yeah, if I remember from our last conversation, you said you were a workaholic, a work addict, right?
I would definitely say that that's true.
Do you find yourself getting excited about whatever you're working on, and then that ends up becoming the entire focus and kind of throws off the rest of the stuff? So yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
Generally with my stuff, especially with what I do, it can be really exciting when I'm working on something, and I'll pop up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning going, hey, I need to get ready to go because I really want to do this.
Yeah.
And it's really, really exciting, and there is a certain amount of a high that goes along with that.
Yep.
And then after too many months of doing it, it becomes your routine. And then it's no longer healthy.
Right. All of a sudden, your work has become the bulk of your the entirety of your life, your circle of health, all the things that you need to do and maintain. They sort of get smaller and smaller as the work portion gets bigger and bigger.
Oh, hey, I can skip breakfast because I've got this going on.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I'm gonna, scarf down top ramen at my desk while I continue to work at lunch.
And I think it's good we're pointing out, while you have that routine and rigidity, that you remain flexible to say, well, I had a big dinner last night, so maybe I can skip on breakfast real quick and take this important phone call and then catch up on my breakfast a little bit later.
Yeah,
you make those decisions.
There's always going to be some small fluctuation. Practicing getting that routine.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. You can't get locked into whatever you have down in your journal as far as a routine, because life doesn't work that way. It throws you hey, I'm supposed to have breakfast at 8:12 this morning, and then you get an important phone call at 8:11. I mean, you've got to be able to be flexible with it, but you can't let being flexible also become the routine, because otherwise you're gonna start losing out on what you need personally to keep yourself healthy.
Yeah, your overall efficiency and effectiveness will go down as well.
And that applies to your guys' situation as well. I mean, mine's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it does apply. You can't be completely rigid about, hey guys, I have to go home right now, otherwise my routine's off. That's
right. Yeah, that's a stressor that you don't need to put on yourself. John and I, we've had to be careful to not get overly engrossed with working on help with addiction. We've kind of had to moderate ourselves so it maintains just the normal healthy portion of our daily routine.
Right. We don't want to work full time on our club. We want it to be something we enjoy as much as we want to get something out of it ourselves and not just pour in tons of work. I think the first week when we decided to get this club going, we had the idea. I went balls to the wall and couldn't stop working on it.
Like 3 days straight.
Facebook advertisements and
okay, guys. That's trading one addiction for another.
Largely, yes.
We dialed it back.
However, I want to remain hooked on addiction recovery so that I can fight my actual addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Well, John, you and I talked about this separately. I thought this was a really good outlet for you because not only are you going to be helping other people, but you're also keeping yourself focused on your own recovery. And that's why I've been willing to be involved in it. But I personally know from just the way my behavior is that I will, when I'm trying to focus on not focus on something, I will overly focus on something else, and it becomes just as unhealthy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that balance. I think overall, that balance in your entire life is a key to living a healthy life.
Well, I have some friends who live up here after I moved back up after separating, and before I'd lived at a minimum of 45-minute drive from them when I lived up here. Now I'm about 15, maybe 20, and they were really excited about that because they wanted to see me more often. And they called that out this last week. They're like, we really thought when you moved this much closer, we'd see you more often, but you've been so engrossed in your work that you never have the energy to come visit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's a problem. I took one problem that I was having and sublimated it into creating a new problem for myself.
Yeah.
And am I better off? No. I should have been a little bit more self-aware.
My planner kind of helps me in situations like that. I'll put a note down that's just like text my mom, so I'm remembering that part of life, social part of life, family part of life. If I tend to neglect it, I start to add little notes in there to steer me in the right direction. It's almost like you're influencing your future self with small little notes that you're kind of able to look at every day. I know daily planner is not for everybody, but it absolutely helps me.
Writing it using a pen grabs my mind more than using my thumbs to text. Like, gotta make a mental text note.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to have their own way of organizing this and getting it together. I have always talked to my mother for at least 15 minutes a day.
Wow, that's awesome.
It used to be on my commute home. And now it's a little bit more random, but I always spend some time with her. I'm not going to have her forever, and I'm aware of that.
Right.
And I know it's very beneficial for her, and honestly, it's pretty beneficial for me, even if all we do is talk about garbage.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not talking that. Sometimes that's literal. I call her on Wednesday nights, going, "Your trash is going out tomorrow morning. Do you want to go ahead and just do that now?"
Yeah. No,
which keeps her on a routine.
Right. That's an interesting idea. Having your own routine influencing other people's routines as well.
That's the idea.
Well, I do purposely call her. She's become, her sleeping schedule has become way off, and I've been trying to encourage her. I'm like, set an alarm, get up, have your coffee, go walk down the block and then back, get some exercise. And I've encouraged her to set up an alarm to take her medication, because she's got to take medication 3 times a day at her age. And I think being aware of how her routine has gotten so off track from what she needs to be healthy has helped me with mine.
Yeah, that's good.
So maybe I'm trying to say, having somebody to support you until your routine is in place can help.
Right. Yeah, and some things can be sort of overwhelming to jump into. It's important to make small steps in all of these things. Like for example, exercise. You don't put down a plan that you're going to exercise 3 times a week if you haven't been exercising at all for the last several months. Just you can put a little note down that says, I'm going to do 10 push-ups today, and then slowly build that. Slowly cultivate your routine to encompass more and more of that.
Okay, don't scare people with the idea of push-ups.
Yeah.
He really does them. I've seen it.
My thing in the last few months, because I used to get out and exercise on a regular basis, and I stopped that with everything that was going on in my life. And so my thing now is I try to get out every morning and at least walk 15 minutes one way and 15 minutes back. Yeah. And then in the evening, I try to do 30 minutes each way.
Those are good meditative periods as well, right?
You can listen to music, you can talk on the phone with somebody, and we're not talking mall walking here. I'm not power walking. I'm just getting out, getting my body moving, getting myself out of my apartment.
You don't have the weights going like this.
And now I do have to be careful. I can't listen to my friend DJ, because then I start dancing on the sidewalk while cars are driving past me. So that's not good.
I can see you doing it.
That can happen.
I can see.
John, I have better rhythm than you do.
My dancing is really poor.
As a gay man, I have way more rhythm than you do. So it's not quite that bad.
I can dance.
But yeah, and that has been actually really, really good for me. Now, there are days I don't feel like it, and I don't beat myself up for not doing it. There's also days where, it's pouring rain, and I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. That's a good.
I try not to let it bother me if I miss one.
Right. A good thing to note, having like a loose backup plan for things. Say in the morning, I just don't quite feel like getting all this stuff for juicing out. You know, it is a small endeavor. I'll have a healthy backup plan that I do and kind of rotate between those. And then, yeah, I don't feel like I'm failing. I don't have to beat myself up that I'm not eating healthy, but I also don't have to stress about, you know, cleaning the entire juicer after doing it that day if it just seems like something that I don't feel like doing. A little bit of malleability, right? That's great. Well, what are some exercise activities that you do whenever it's raining out?
Unfortunately, sit-ups.
Yeah.
And crunches.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Those are things I actually like to do, despite the fact that I find them painful. I will also do just plain stretching.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, for some reason, stretching always feels good, even when something weird pops.
Yeah.
You know, I try to keep it pretty low key. I've got friends who do yoga, and I've been watching some yoga videos lately, trying to figure out whether or not I can get into it, and I'm just sort of like, that's not for me. I would never be able to keep that up as a routine.
Not for me either, man. I feel that.
The new thing I've started to look at, and I haven't tried it yet, is the whole Tai Chi thing.
Yeah, no, that's not bad.
And I haven't tried it yet, but that sort of looks like something I could probably pretty easily do. Just knowing some of the stretching that I did when I was a lot younger and did on a regular basis, that's a possibility. So I'm keeping my options open on the exercise. I don't mind walking out in the rain here in Seattle. You get used to it. But there's only a certain level of, I'm not walking around with an umbrella
no.
to get exercise. That is not happening.
Yep.
It also helps, I will say, and you guys actually have similar opportunities there in Arkansas as I do up here. There's a lot of nature walks you can do.
Definitely. Yeah,
and that's, you know, it's a little bit of a drive, but when I do those, I'm sort of getting it's a little bit more of a peaceful feeling than it is when walking on sidewalks.
Yeah.
So it's like a light hike. So you get the whole nature experience and you get your exercise on top of it.
Yeah, that's important. You know, a lot of people look at fitness as just the push-ups and sit-ups and the weights and all that stuff that's not very fun, but there's so many activities that you can do that will generate fitness for yourself. I'm thinking that I'll probably start archery here before too long.
Cool.
And that's a good fun activity that also builds some muscle. And
John, you're gonna pull something, probably a tendon.
Archery sounds fun. The last time I was an archer was like kids camp.
Yeah.
Bible camp when I was a kid.
Same here, man.
I did that as a kid with my cousins out in the forest. And it was always like, it was sort of fun. I'm not very accurate.
Yeah.
But it is definitely good exercise, especially with a compound bow.
Maybe you don't like an arrow. Maybe you want to throw a frisbee. And I'm talking somewhat to the viewer that maybe isn't aware that there are meetup groups. There's an app called Meetup where you can find groups of people who just meet up to do physical field hockey, tag football, anything that you can find enjoyable that is also exercise.
John, I'm nearly 50. Are you trying to injure me?
You can play field hockey.
Not me. I ain't playing no field hockey.
Yeah. You know, you might get me out for, you know, a game of soccer.
There you go.
Now, for me, the rule is I can't play anything that involves a ball because it's going to make me do something that I'm not supposed to do. I'll see it and I'll just, I gotta jump and do that thing, and then I'll hurt something. Yeah, all right, we're out for 3 weeks. You know, we definitely don't want to do any of that, right?
But you made that great dive.
Dude, I killed that play.
But half of your face is gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm now at that point where I can wake up in the morning and I injured myself in my sleep.
Oh yeah.
So.
I've had a thing with my neck for a few weeks just because of sleeping. It's like, how are you gonna wake up hurt? Why are you doing this?
Okay.
This is supposed to be our recovery time.
So you know that like tendon that runs like from your neck down to your arm, that one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually ripped that in my sleep.
Holy moly! What kind of dream were you having?
Have no idea. I was on Benadryl, so who knows?
Yeah, that had to be.
But yeah, no, I actually injured myself. It took like 6 weeks to heal.
Man, yeah.
So this is why I'd sort of like to get back in.
Sort of like to get back what?
Disconnect.
Yeah, I think we might have lost Scott there.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Put back on.
Any hobbies that you're looking forward to adding to your routine?
So I'm stoked about buying an electric bicycle. I'm throwing down money that's big to me on a nice one, and I can't wait to add that to just. I'm gonna make it part of my, at least at once a week. I'm not gonna spend money on it and not ride it like other bicycles that I've had.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm really excited about. I'll probably, my girlfriend's work schedule will probably have something to do with my bike rides, because I already see myself going to visit her at work because it's effortless. As long as it's charged, it just takes my thumb a little bit of.
Yeah, exercise where you feel like doing it,
Yeah.
but.
Medicine is where I need to make sure I have routine applied. I don't know if you're doing those things. If you've got checking your medicine, taking your medicine as a part of your regular routine, that's not going to be in the way if a friend knocks on the door unexpectedly. Hey man, my cell phone was dead, but I'm in the neighborhood. You want to go for a walk? You'll be ready. You don't have to go and say, well, I need a shower. You've already showered that day. You're wearing deodorant. You're not going to have to get ready.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. You guys have to wear deodorant down there.
You're gonna be more ready for an impromptu meeting.
Yeah, actually, something I need to add to my routine is cleaning, doing chores around the house. It's there, but I can forget for several days at a time to do something like taking out the trash and start pushing it down more and more. Where if I could just kind of add that in where I take my dog out in the morning, I automatically take my trash out, something like that. Make it a lot easier, make my house look better, make me feel better.
See, that's interesting. So my landlord is turning over this to a property management company.
Yeah.
And I've known her for almost 15 years. And so they're going to make some recommendations to her. And I wanted to make sure the place was like absolutely spotless. And so one of my friends recommended a house cleaner to come over and do kind of a deep clean, like, you're moving out of your apartment sort of thing that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did that, and she came over and she's like, how long have you lived here? And I'm like, well, about 2 years. And she's like, you don't need regular service.
Yeah.
Which was a huge compliment.
That's awesome.
And I will use her on a regular basis because she does things that I don't like doing, like cleaning baseboards.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. It was very nice to know that I had kept up my cleaning routine enough for a professional to say, yeah, you don't need your people on a regular basis.
Yeah. No, usually people come to my place and like, whoa, not clean. Pretty clean, but not clean enough.
Yeah, no, evidently mine was, she's like, we didn't really, they did spend 4 hours, but they spent 4 hours doing the stuff that I would not touch.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever cleaned a baseboard in my house.
And I have, but I'm probably a little OCD on stuff. When I get started cleaning like down at the baseboard level, I can spend hours doing it. One time when I was in college, I got involved in like really deep cleaning my house, and I actually scrubbed the inside of my dishwasher.
Wow. Holy shit.
I've never done that.
Were you on drugs?
Not that night.
Not that night?
Yeah.
Back then I was, but not that particular night. And it was just like, I'm like, there's spots inside of my dishwasher. I've got to get them off.
Every now and then
So
I look at the inside of my
I sort of learned that there's a certain level of stuff that I cannot get to because I get too focused on the minutia.
Yep.
And then therefore you don't really get anything done, or you exhaust yourself.
Right. Yeah, and then if you do overdo it, all of a sudden the days after that are all thrown off.
Right.
Well, I think we can call it here, guys. Thank you for joining us, Scott. Anyone else that sees us in the future, you see our email at the top left, I'm presuming, of the screen. Feel free to email us. We'll get back to you. Good luck with sobriety. Keep doing what you're doing. Knock out parts of your day at a time.
Good luck with your sobriety. Let me interrupt. If I'll throw my phone number on there, in case you are a person who is greatly struggling with addiction and you just need someone who you think you can trust, and you've gathered a bit of trust, and if you believe in me enough to speak to you and try and help you through your moment, my telephone number is 479-332-9197. And if you're watching this YouTube video at 3 in the morning and you are thinking about taking another drink or taking another bump or whatever it is, you can call me and I will try and talk you out of it and give you some help over the phone. We want to be a resource to you. We're going to host meetings every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central Time, every Saturday at the same time.
The meeting and password is always the same.
How you found us today, you can find us again at the same place, whether that's Twitch or YouTube. You can find us here at the same place. Like and follow if you will.
Yeah.
If you want to connect in at 2 p.m. Central Time to our Zoom meeting on Tuesday, the meeting ID is 885-545-3031. And the passcode is justsayno, all lowercase, no spaces.
And it would be greatly beneficial to us as well to have you join in. And I'd like to thank Scott. You had some fantastic input for us, and it's things that are going to adjust my daily routine in my life. So we look forward to having as many people as want to contribute great ideas and help everybody grow. Thank you very much. Again, I'm James. John. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for coming in, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Hey, not a problem, guys. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, me too.
Well, good. We'll come back Tuesday. We'll have the same sort of conversation. We'll have a new topic to talk about, and we'll try to give you a heads up on that.
All right, appreciate that.
All right, we'll see you, buddy.
All right, bud.
All right, bye.